Hi, my name is Pastor Larry,
And I'm Linda.
and I'm the lead pastor here at Victory Christian Center. And we wanted to give you a little history of our church and also a little bit of our background. I first started preaching in 1987, and we started our first church in Los Angeles area, a place called San Pedro. And it was a pretty crazy place. There was a tremendous amount of gang activity in that area. Even one time we had somebody shoot a bullet through the front window of the church. But we saw tremendous things that God did in that area. We saw gang members come to Christ. We saw lives changed and people that were far away from God come to know Jesus Christ.
After that, we moved to the island of Guam. It's a U.S. territory out in the South Pacific. It's 8 miles wide by 30 miles long. Very small place with not a lot of shopping. One time we were in church when that 8.2 earthquake hit. The lights were hanging from the ceiling and the place was rocking, and it was kind of interesting to watch all the people who hadn't been to church in a long time come sneaking in the back doors by the time it was over.
Our next stop was we went to the Fiji Islands, and we were missionaries there, and we started a church in a place called Latoka. And God did unbelievable things right from the get-go. We had a lot of Hindus come to know Christ and Muslims. I even got to pray for the president of the nation, and we met the Queen of Fiji. She actually came to our church. And
I remember when we first started the church being just afraid because we're in a whole different culture and a different environment. One lady came to church that I just kind of clicked with, and I got to the place where every Sunday or every time we had a service, I would look for her, and when she came in, I was like, oh, okay, she's here, it's okay. And I don't think she ever realized how much that meant to me, just seeing her walk in the door and knowing that she came and she took the time to be there and to show up, and it was a comfort and an assurance to me. I think sometimes just people coming to church don't realize how important they are just by showing up, just by being there. And it's really important to just let God use you in whatever aspect, whether it's leaving your family and friends and going overseas to be a missionary in a church, or just showing up on Sunday and just being you and loving others. And
we were in Fiji for 8.5 years, and God started dealing with me that we needed to come back to the States. And He gave us a verse in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. And it talked about Abraham, and it said Abraham went out not knowing where he was going. And we knew we were coming back to the States, but we had no idea where we were going to go. So we ended up buying a car, and we drove 10,000 miles all over the United States. And we go to different cities like, God, is this where you want us? And so when we got here, we knew that this is where God wanted us to be, and we started the church here. We used to have a movie theater in Lehigh, and we would rent from them in the morning before they would show movies. So we'd have to go in and set up from scratch, and we'd go in there. The place was a mess. I mean, it was nasty. They had popcorn on the floor, milk duds, spilled soda, and we'd have to go in there and clean up and take care of things. And then we just saw God just start moving. And we started from humble beginnings. We had no people, just our family. And then people just started coming in. They started giving their life to Christ. And we saw the church kept growing and growing. We finally ended up taking over the whole building, and we had to knock walls down and expand the facilities. And then eventually God opened the door for us to buy the building we're in right now. And since we've been here in the short time in this building, we've saw God touch many people. The church has expanded. We've had to go to double services on Sunday, and we want to see God continue to grow the church. But it goes beyond just Lehigh. We have a vision to touch the world. We want to plant churches and minister to people in different states and different cities and even different nations. We would love to have you to be a part of that too.